best place to play all your games. Xbox. Come on in. Let's talk about it. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Hit that like button on your way in. Great show for you tonight. Great show. Don't forget to like and you can share this out. More persons to the stream.
This is a sickness!
Let's get it. What's up? What's up, fam? What's up? The Xbox community, how you guys going? How are you guys doing? It's been an eventful week and we have to talk about it because I don't know if some persons are capping. I don't know if these guys are joking. But it's very clear that, Xbox is the best place to play all your multiplat games and games on a whole. Now, how are you guys doing? Let me just shout out those in the chat. I'm seeing a Shu. What up, man? What up? Chu? Is that a check? What up? What up, Chu? I'm seeing Delmas, how are you going? ACD, what up, my girl? What up? So yeah, so we are looking to have a lot of things to talk about. And this is amazing. It is amazing to understand that these ponies are really giving us Game Pass for a long time. By these ponies buying, because of the drought, because PlayStation is the dry Station 5 and they don't have any good games to play, no doubt when the bangers from Xbox comes to PlayStation, they would buy it. They would purchase it. Let me just say shout out to, is it Tash Lolin? Tash Olin? What up? Chris George, how you going, my dude? So yes, these ponies will help fund Xbox Game Pass for years to come. Now, this strategy is an amazing strategy, and I would prove it, right? I'm going to prove how this strategy is an amazing strategy. Look at the stats thus far for Indiana Jones. Look at this here. Indiana Jones, it was reported recently that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has been played by over 4 million players, Microsoft says. Microsoft confirms first Indiana Jones and the Great Circle player data. So we all know about the MAUs, which is the monthly active users. And we know that the majority of these companies are not looking for how many consoles are sold, but if persons are engaging in the game, if persons are coming back playing these games. So far, Microsoft would have gotten 4 million players to play, Indiana Jones. What up, my brother Yataza? Welcome, man. Welcome. We're talking about Microsoft's strategy when it comes to, why it is a good strategy, not only for gamers, Xbox gamers, not only for the devs, but also for the industry as a whole. So notice what it says. It says the title was released on December the 9th, 2024 for Xbox Series X, S, and PC, and has also been available with Game Pass since launch. The game has been well received by critics, earning scores of 86 console and 87 PC on review aggregation site Metacritic. Right? Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella touched on the game's early performance during the company's second quarter earnings call on Wednesday. We saw rave reviews of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which has already been played by more than 4 million people, he said. Now, this is very interesting because we know Microsoft is looking for those engagements. We know Microsoft is looking for persons to subscribe to Game Pass to play good quality games like Indiana Jones. And it's looking like it was achieved. To have 4 million players playing this game is no doubt a success for Microsoft and Game Pass, because a good chunk of those subscribed to Game Pass, this game was available to them, right? Let me just invite Games Heroes. What up, Game Hero?
Oh, trailers. Yeah, what's up, Pastor?
What up? So we are just talking about the success of Indiana Jones, how it would have accrued more than 4 million players playing the game on Game Pass. Now, this is where the good strategy comes in, right? So Microsoft is not only getting MAUs from games like Indiana Jones, they are getting persons subscribing to Game Pass. So on the Xbox front, this game is successful. Of course, persons on Xbox, some persons would have purchased this game straight off, right? But here is where the beautiful thing about this is, not only is Microsoft getting success from games like Indiana Jones when it comes to Game Pass, when it comes to monthly active users, but because they are bringing it to PlayStation and maybe the Nintendo Switch too, they can get the sweet, good, that sweet honey money from these ponies and the Nintendo fans.
So good and tasty?
It will be good and tasty because this is an issue in the industry right now. This is not my opinion, but there are a lot of developers are saying that games are very expensive to make. Games are taking longer to make. So if Microsoft could get both MAUs, engagement, subscribers to Game Pass, and also get cash from putting it on other platforms, this is a win-win for Xbox gamers. We get a day one on Game Pass. It's a win for for the devs, because they are not only seeing success when it comes to persons playing the game, they are also going to see success with persons buying the game. Because let's face it, currently the PlayStation has nothing to play. January was dry for the PlayStation community. So, I mean, this is crazy. Let me just say shout out again to Yataza, shout out to Professor Strong, my brother. What up? Shout out to Smitty Smith and nice Knights of the Realm. What up, Knights of the Realm? You come to slay some dragons? Got a lot of dragons here, man. So what's up, Game Trailer? How are things going with you? How are things doing with you? What do you thought about that? What do you thought about that article? Or do you have any input on that article?
Oh, will the Indiana Jones perform 4 million?
Yeah.
That's good. Like, people playing it. Like, that's what Microsoft wants, right?
Yeah.
They want the engagement. They don't really care about the sales of the games. They just want engagement. That's why Yoshida, the real Yoshida, the head of Sony, he said that engagement is more important than sales numbers. A lot of these
Yeah, yeah,
ponies are delusional
yeah,
because doesn't matter how many games you sold, doesn't mean how many people playing it. Like look at Astrobot. I'm not playing
yeah,
that. So it's
yeah.
just that yeah, like 4 million is pretty good
Hmm.
for a very for Indiana Jones. And remember, people still bought it on Steam,
Yeah,
and people still bought it on the Xbox if you have an option.
yeah,
I think the game is really good. Almost beat the game. So
yeah. So I would have put up a poll because I mean this is the beauty of what Microsoft is doing. Xbox gamers are getting good quality games. The industry is unanimous when it comes to Indiana Jones was a quality game. They saw the quality, whether it be in the graphical fidelity, they saw the quality when it comes to the frame rate, 60 frames per second. They saw the raw quality of that game. And having that game day and date on Game Pass is just like, the chef's kiss for those subscribe to Game Pass, right? That cannot be debated. Now, we are seeing the news that Microsoft is bringing more games to other platforms, and the talk in the community is here. What they are going to leave? Oh, why own an Xbox? Why even bother having an Xbox? Because they are putting games on other platforms. Well, let me just say that there are a number of persons who would have told these ponies the beauty of playing on Xbox. And this is what I'm going to show now. Listen to how this person would have told Jimmy Neutron the beauty of playing with Xbox. And you guys tell me if this person is cooking or if he's capping. Tell me.
This guy says reasons to buy an Xbox.
Let me make sure the volume is up. All right, the volume is up. Let's go.
Better Xbox community devoid of toxic Sony community. Really? Assurance that my games from last gen are playable on all generations. Back compat's important. That you get that on Nintendo Switch 2 as well as the PS5.
Let me just say before the video continues, shout out One Rock 23, the hardest rock since 2023. Let's say shout out to Deliverex. What up? How you going, man?
And PlayStation's been continuing to grow the list of games that wouldn't work because there was differences between the operating systems or whatever it was. When the ones you have to play on cloud or whatever, the ability to play your game on any device, that's not true yet. Controller's still the best. That's subjective.
So this guy is going through a list as to why Xbox is the best place to play. He started off by saying they have the best community. That is without a question true. We saw how it is. The Xbox community would have embraced Bruv. He came from PlayStation, recently he's now an Xbox superstar, right? Went extremely viral because he came from PlayStation to Xbox. So the best community done, right? They're talking about play everywhere. Not only the Xbox game available on console, they're also available on PC. The same game, same save file, and you can play it on your mobile devices. What a wonderful strategy. So this is what the guy is telling Jimmy Neutron here.
You prefer the multiplayer games and don't really care much about Sony or Nintendo single player games. I think that's fair. If you don't care about Nintendo and PlayStation single player games, sure. But since all the games are going to PlayStation and Nintendo anyway, one of those games might strike your fancy. So why cut that off?
No, but I mean, think about it, Jimmy. Why leave Xbox platform to pay? I mean, it makes no sense. At the end of the day, forget about what Phil Spencer and Xbox does. You as a gamer have to see what you are getting from any platform. The mere fact that Game Pass is available on Xbox makes it one of the best places to play. If you want to pay for the game, no problem. You could still pay on Xbox. Pay for it full price, no problem. But I am not going to leave a platform that, I'm getting so many games available day one, which I don't have to, pay an upfront cost to go to another platform to pay full price. Am I smoking Johnny Walker? Let's be real.
Why cut yourself off from that? Game Pass is a money saver. Not necessarily. Most people buy 2, maybe 3 games a year.
Well, and this is it. Game Pass is for gamers. If it is you play a lot of games, Game Pass is for you. If you like to try a lot of games, Game Pass is for you. If it is you want to experience all of these new AAA experience of Microsoft, Game Pass is for you. So it's not just about buying a game. If you want to buy it, buy it. But if you want to experience these games, if it is you want to, say that you would have had early access and so forth, Game Pass is the program for you.
So if you only bought 3 games a year, that would be cheaper than Game Pass Ultimate for day and date. I make decisions based on accessibility, function, and overall value, not popularity. Having an ego about what plastic box you choose is stupid. Then why are you typing all this? I don't know why, but Xbox just seems to last very long. Still have all my Xboxes with all my friends with PlayStations, their previous versions. Did I mention the Xbox community is really cool? It's in general.
Yep.
All subjective reasons, but perfectly fine.
So this is wonderful. One of the guy who sent that message, he did a very good job as to highlighting why Xbox is the best place to play. Would you concur to that, Game Trailers?
Oh, hell yeah. oh, my bad.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. No, that's
everything you told the truth.
Yeah.
Look, man, I'm going to give you a harsh feeling, right?
Yeah.
Exclusives don't sell consoles.
Thank you.
Outside of, you can argue with Nintendo, right? Because Nintendo games do sell really, really well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But PlayStation exclusive and Xbox exclusive don't really sell the console.
Correct.
Majority of these people play these consoles between Xbox and PlayStation, where your friends at, the controller, and other reasons why you buy them. Mostly people have with your friends, right? If I was a casual gamer and I play 2K on my Xbox and my friends got Xboxes, why would I buy a PlayStation?
Yeah.
I buy an Xbox. It makes sense, right? Because if you look at the top 10 best playing games on both systems, they all do the same games. Call of Duty, Fortnite, Roblox, GTA Online, Marvel Rivals. Like, there's nobody like, Forza is on Xbox. Same thing like MLB. Forza is on PlayStation. Same like MLB is on Xbox. Like, people buy these consoles because of a lot of reasons, not because of exclusives. Because Xbox doesn't even have exclusives. Because their games is on PC day one.
Yeah.
So why would I buy so based on his logic, why would I buy an Xbox? I can play all these games on PCs.
Yeah.
Think about it, right? Because people can't afford a PC.
Yeah.
And people are not going to sit down and abandon whole your library, your friends, your achievements, go to the PlayStation and buy the exact same game you buy on the Xbox. Why would I trade my Xbox because Forza Horizon 5 is on PlayStation? So if I buy a PlayStation and buy them and Forza Horizon 5, why would I do that? It's in Game Pass.
Yeah. And I mean, Game Trailers, you're cooking, right? Because I'll tell you something. Forza Horizon is a 4-year-old game, right?
Yeah.
Everyone who wanted to play that game would have played it at this point in time. Anybody who wanted to buy the game on Xbox or on PC would have bought it at this time. Now, we know that Forza Horizon is a game that the persons on Game Pass or on PC continue to support, right? Because it's constantly in the top 15 games. Sometimes it will fall to 16 or 17, but the majority of weeks, Forza is being played either on PC or on Xbox platform. But let's think about it. This game did not see the amount of players playing it like when it just released. These games releasing on PlayStation has now brought these games into the conversation. We are hearing persons are going to buy this game, right? And this is what they should. Ponies, if you're listening to me, please support Forza. Show how Forza is a better game than Gran Turismo. Hands down. That game is boring. That is why consistently on the most played games of the week, you will not see Gran Turismo. Why is that, Game Traders? Why are we not
play that?
No one is playing that rubbish. No one is playing it. So
No,
Forza,
I say Forza Motorsport is better than Gran Turismo. But
yeah,
listen, man. Like, first of all, Forza Horizon will kill GT because a lot of people on PlayStation for years be begging to put that game on PlayStation, and they had the arcade racer
yeah,
Drive Club. That game died. They shut down the studio. That could be their Forza Horizon. So now Forza Horizon is on PlayStation. Remember, this is the only Forza Horizon game will be on PlayStation. I don't think 6 would. But
right.
either because Microsoft is genius, right? They want to put this game on PlayStation. Next year, 6 will announce exclusive console exclusive for between PC and Xbox. And a lot of people who bought Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation and they're trying to convert a lot of these players back to Xbox
Yeah,
ecosystem.
I mean,
Either you buy it on PC or either buy it on Xbox, and it's going to help Xbox in the long run
yes,
because they're making a lot of money on this.
yes. And let me just say that's a very good point, Game Trailer guys. I'm seeing it have over 50 persons here. Hit the like button, please. Let's get the likes up. Let's see if we could get the stream to 100 likes. So hit the like button today. So let me just say you are cooking here, Game Trailers, because this is the same strategy that Pee Wee Herman would have used when he said the reason for putting these games day on date, these multi-platform games day on date onto PC, and also games like some of the older PlayStation exclusives onto PCs, because they want PC players to get familiar with these franchises, so that when these new iteration comes out, that the PC fans will go and buy it on PlayStation. So in other words, he was saying that they are using the PC platform to make their IP more popular, right? Now, in a similar vein, Game Trailers, we are seeing that this is what Microsoft is doing. Microsoft is making their IP more popular by putting it onto other platforms, the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 5. And guess what? When these new iteration comes out, we will be seeing persons who would have loved the game playing it on other platforms. If Microsoft choose to keep this game onto Xbox, that would have been a new influx of players coming onto the platform, because they would have gotten familiar with that Microsoft IP on their platform. It's a good strategy. So I mean, Microsoft is killing it when it comes to that front. So Sony fans, let me just say we have, according to let me say Reward Gaming said, okay, we got 8% ponies in here. So so yes, so hit the like button, guys. Put your opinion on the poll there. Let's see if we can get the likes up to 100. So yeah, Game Trailers, you are cooking with that. Now, let me just say that currently there are a few games announced for PlayStation. Well, it just so happened, Game Trailers, that there is a rumor brewing in the PlayStation community. They are saying that there is a PlayStation, direct or a state of play happening very, very soon, right? So let's see what this rumor is saying. This rumor is saying that PlayStation is reportedly preparing or prepping a February state of play for Valentine's week. Are these ponies going to have a little romantic gaming weekend this week? Well, let's see. It says Sony will stream its next state of play presentation later this month. It's being claimed. So this is a claim by I don't know who. That's according to reliable gaming insider Nate the Hate. So Nate the Hate is back again. Now we know that Nate said that both Halo and also Flight Simulator would have been announced on the Microsoft event. That didn't happen. Instead, later on, we got a stealth drop of Forza coming, right? So Nate is looking kind of shaky Let me say shout out to my guy Yataza. Yataza, what up, man? Thanks for that super chat, that $5 super chat, man. Yataza is saying Pony's PlayStation 5 games mostly cross-gen with PlayStation 4, correct? And remasters. They have completed scammed their own player base. They played PlayStation 4 games over and over again. And he is correct. A lot of the games that are on PlayStation 5 are just simply remasters of the PlayStation games. And I mean, the ponies are just not seeing it. I mean, maybe they are, because the way that they are flocking to Microsoft games shows that they are starving and they are hungry. So let's go back to the article. The article is saying that that's according to Nady Hit, who frequently reveals information on the games industry ahead of official announcements. According to the user, PlayStation Next Level stream is arriving in February. Asked by an ex-user for more exact timing info, the state of play, the insider dropped a strong hint that it would take place on the week commencing February 10th. So this is like a Valentine state of play. I mean, these ponies, Sony's relying on love to, hopefully if the ponies and them see love, they could forget about the lack of games on PlayStation. It goes on to say, Sony regularly puts on a state of play in January or February to reveal some of the titles it's planning to release during the first half of the calendar year, right? So, what do you think about that, game trailers? What do you think is possible that Sony could show? I mean, we know that we have Ghost of Yotei. We know that they have Wolverine. What else does Sony have? We know they would have, they would have talked about Intergalactic. But what do you think Sony would show, if possible, on this state of play? Marathon?
No first party. This is not a showcase. This is state of play.
Right, state of play. So what do you think they will show?
Third party.
Third party, like we have that's Samurai game.
And Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter, right. WoWs or any third party games coming out this year.
So you say no first party game trailers? These guys are still relying on third party?
Yeah, third party. And I got a little insider to possibly Resident Evil 9.
Right.
They might show Resident Evil 9. That would be cool though.
Yeah, that would be a big. I mean, what about Baby Steps? You think Baby Steps could get a
release date? Yeah.
Come on, man. I mean, there are so many fans. Baby Steps is now a phenomenon. Everyone is waiting to play Baby Steps. This guy is walking in his PJs. I mean, it's such an interesting game trailers. I mean, you can see yourself, platinuming that game trailers, Baby Steps.
Nope. I ain't saying that. But listen. They go to show. Yeah. they go to show third party, right?
Right.
State of play is all third. If this rumor is true, I think it probably would. They're gonna just show third party. And possibly one big third party multiplayer like Resident Evil 9 or something.
That would be a good get.
That would be cool. That would be awesome. I'm a fan of Resident Evil. It's been time to get a new Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
But now, this year is dry.
Dry. I mean, this is
last year was dry too. Last year was dry too. But if you want to count first party, it was dry last year. But they had some third party exclusives. That's what it was banking on last year. But first party was dry last year. Astrobot, Concord, and whatever they had. I don't know. Lego Horizon. That's the only thing he had. So until dawn, but this year is dry. So we don't know what Ghost of Tsushima 2 coming out.
Yeah.
That might get delayed. Wolverine coming out this year. The director said it. Yeah.
Right.
Death Stranding 2, you know how Kojima is, so he ain't coming out this year.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marathon. The only games I can see coming out this year is Marathon and Fear games. After that, I don't see this. Even if I would say Ghost of Tsushima 2 might get delayed next year.
Right.
And if do get delayed next year, then I think the Trojan horse will be Death Stranding 2 the end of this year, but around November. But remember, Death Stranding 2 might come to Xbox. Like remember the first was on Xbox and PC, so you want to start count time exclusives. Like,
yeah,
it's bad, man. These ponies are begging and play Xbox games with more than their games coming out this year. Why you just adding Jim Ryan all of them? Where's the games on PlayStation? Why you begging Xbox games? I would never buy Xbox games. If I was a PlayStation fanboy, I don't care about these Xbox games. I want my
But that
games.
is what they said. That is what they said, game trailers. I mean, it's so funny. The excitement for PlayStation game for Xbox games on the PlayStation community. I mean, this is crazy to me. I remember these guys saying Microsoft don't make good games. Microsoft have no games because none of the games that they have they are good. I mean, how now? I mean, listen to this, guys. It's not only me who said that. Game trailers. Listen to this guy here because I was like, am I going crazy? Why is the PlayStation community all of a sudden claiming that they love Xbox games? Look at this here. Look at this guy. What this guy said here. Let me raise up the volume. You have good games.
And I gotta call out ponies for this too, but you got Forza coming to that PlayStation 5, aka that remastered Station 5, aka we looking for a live service game Station 5.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Hey, that's kind of funny. Hey, that's kind of funny. Hey, that's kind of funny.
To PlayStation 5, I think it's Forza Horizon. I lost count at this point. Forza Horizon 5 is coming to PlayStation 5 this spring. And the crazy thing is, I'm seeing a bunch of ponies like hype this junk up, like, oh, we getting Forza.
Yeah.
Xbox fanboys, we got this junk. When all of a sudden there's suckers on PlayStation care about Forza. We always used to joke about Forza, how all of y'all suckers got is Halo and Forza. No one cares about Forza. Now I see some of these same ponies hyping up Forza like, yo, I'm getting this done day one. Xbox fanboys, we got another one of y'all get. Y'all don't even care about racing games like that. Knock it off. Like, stop it. Now all of a sudden you see this junk. Listen.
So I mean, game trailers, I mean, these guys are not credible in any sense of the imagination. Let me say shout out to my guy there, Yataza, for another $2 super chat. What up, Yataza? Thanks again, man. Yataza is saying, need to change the name to State of Emergency. Forget about State of Play, man. State of Emergency.
Hey, fun fact. No, fun fact, though. State of Emergency is actually a game. For Rockstar.
Yeah.
Yeah, State of Emergency is actually a game for Rockstar.
Yeah, that is what they should name that State of Play, man. State of Emergency, because guess what? Nothing is. I mean, I believe that they are going to push back Marathon. You know why I say that, game trailers? They are double checking and having second thoughts because of the failure of Concord. They will be very careful as to, of any live service game. They would make sure that live service game is hitting on all cylinders before they put it out. So if Marathon is not doing that, I believe that they right now PlayStation the executives are having PTSD from Concord. Concord really left a mark on these guys, and they are just afraid to put their
Well,
toes in the water.
but how they afraid and fear games existed?
Yeah.
How they afraid why fear games still coming out? That game would die. Like
It would die? You predicted it
fear
would die?
game. Yeah, fear game's gonna die. Marathon might succeed because of the Xbox community, but because it's up to the Xbox and PC community now to make that game actually successful. But fear games, that game gonna die, man. That's basically a payday ripoff. Like,
yeah,
nobody asked for that. Nobody asked for that, man. Like, and listen, if that game fails, right, and I think it would, they're gonna shut down the studio.
That would be another studio shutting down.
Yeah, there's gonna be another studio shutting down. There's another studio they required because of live service, and it doesn't succeed. They're gonna shut them down. And when they shut them down, go ahead, Pastor.
So Fear Games, that might be called into question. So Marathon, so that is in question too.
Yeah, because Marathon, because streamers actually played that before. A lot of streamers really played Marathon. They said, "Nah, that ain't it, brother." like a lot of people said, "That's not it, brother." Marathon is basically a abstraction shooter. There's nothing wrong with that, but the game, like, I don't know what they're doing with these live service games.
Yeah,
because if Marathon, I think Marathon will kind of succeed, but because it's on Bungie. But who knows? Because Bungie still have problems with Destiny, so I don't know this game will be successful or not. But if I was a better man, I would say kind of, because it's on Xbox. And Xbox, and now remember, this game has to be free to play. There's ain't no way this game costs $20 or turn any money. Because if this game costs money, oh yeah, it's dead. Yeah. This game gotta be free to play. If it's free to play, if it does right, it's on Xbox, and it's on PC, it's on PlayStation, it might do a little bit better than Concord. Now, would it fail? Who knows? And remember, if this game fail, I'm gonna say this: rest in peace, Bungie.
Say it in so, man. Say it in so. Rest in peace for the world-class developer Bungie. Don't say that, man, Game Trailers. Bungie's dead. Don't go, Bungie. You made Halo. Don't go. You made a wrong decision to sleep with the devil. Good Lord. But I mean, come on, man. This is crazy. What up, Noah? What up, my brother? How you doing? If you have something to say, come in, man, Noah, man. Come in and let's talk about it, man. So yeah, I mean, this is crazy. I sent you a link there, Noah. This is crazy stuff, because I mean, persons are not thinking when it comes to, why it is PlayStation is so dry at this point. They made a wrong decision to go all in on games as a service, and now they are paying for it, because a lot of persons a lot of the executives, they are not confident in these gas games. They are just not confident. I mean, they are so. Now look at this here, Game Trailers. I am seeing that as we talk about Ghost of Yotei, right? I am seeing that we all know that Dragon Age was recently released, and we know that although it had some initial success, when it was all said and done, Dragon Age was not a very good game when it comes to players reacting to it or players purchasing it, right? Because look at this here, right? This is a tweet by VGT Gaming News, and they are saying, according to their LinkedIn profile, John Boombro, the senior writer of Ghost of Yotei, has previously worked on Dragon Age: The Vilgard. Are you looking forward to this one? So, I mean, we know that there is a heavy DEI process or in Sony games, and gamers are just not feeling it. I mean, if it is that some persons don't want no DEI stuff in gaming, some persons are very careful. I mean, they're saying here, whatever you want representation with different races and so forth, no problem. But to the heavily woke stuff, persons are kicking back on. Do you have confidence that this would keep to the tradition of Ghost of Tsushima, or do you think they might woke this game up, Game Trailers?
I never played Ghost of Tsushima. I never would. But now, according to people, they say that they're not playing this.
Yeah, they're not playing.
A lot of people said they're not playing this. It's woke.
Yeah.
They don't want to play with the girl. They want to play with the guy. I think this is what they played 100 years, something like that.
Yeah.
But
could Sony how to say, could they handle a failure like Ghost of? I mean, these games. I mean, these are single player bangers. This cannot fail, Game Trailers.
No, it can't.
No, it can't. If Ghost of Yotei fails, it doesn't. It doesn't do as well as Ghost of Tsushima. This might be a problem for the studio. So it's very very how to say, troubling that some fans are outright saying they are not going to support Ghost of Yotei because of what Sony is doing with most of their games, right? But I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Do you think ponies? We know we have some ponies in the chat. We have this guy here, Shakil Media. He's a pony. Are you guys going to play Ghost of Yotei? Omar, are you in the chat? Are you guys going to play Ghost of Yotei? Let me know in the comment sections below. Right now, when it comes to PlayStation games, we know that they are dry. We know that these guys don't have the games to play, right? Now, one thing I appreciate Xbox for, one thing I appreciate Game Pass for, is that it is economical for gamers on a whole, right? Game Pass is economical. Right now, eggs in the US, how much for a dozen eggs, Game Trailers, in the US right now?
Huh? The eggs?
Yeah, eggs. How much for a dozen eggs right now?
It depends where you buy them, like $5, $6, almost $6.
Right. So right now in America, eggs are like gold, right? Eggs are very expensive in America. The economy is very how to say, fragile right now in America. Listen to this guy here. Listen to this guy. Now, Microsoft is ensuring you guys could buy eggs. You guys could eat eggs. This is what Microsoft is ensuring. Listen, look at this. Look at this. Look how much for eggs you put these. Look at this.
How much are eggs in Mexico? Let's go find out. We're in Cancun Walmart, or as locals will call it, El Walmar. I have never seen ATVs being sold here. This one's about $1,800. They also sell scooters and motorcycles.
Man, I've been walking around this whole store. Where are the eggs?
Ah, there it is. Now, I know a lot of you guys are asking, how come these aren't refrigerated? That's because in Mexico and in most parts of Europe, they don't wash their eggs. And because of that, they retain a protective membrane called the cuticle, which allows them to stay fresh much longer. We wash them because we're paranoid about salmonella. Also, side note, milk here too is also not refrigerated. And yes, same thing as in most of Europe. Okay, back to the eggs. Now this dozen is selling for $198. I'm going to give you some more examples. This doesn't cost $189.
Just under $2.
This one is $184. while the price for the cheapest dozen I could find at my local Walmart is $7.42.
So $8. You're correct, game trailers. 8.42.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm telling you that because gaming is not a must, gaming is a luxury. Gaming is a pastime. The mere fact that we have Game Pass and Game Pass is saving us money for those who love to play games, this is a win. Why I need to go to other platforms when I am getting this great deal? I'm getting all this content coming to my platform. Why should I go? Right now, these ponies have not seen a scrambled egg in weeks. Not only that they don't have games to play on their platform, they can't, because they are paying full price for the multiplayer games. We are seeing very clear that Microsoft is making sure that you guys eat eggs. Now, game trailers, let's take it to one of our final topics. So this is a topic here that is very interesting, game trailers, because this topic is a past Sony CEO, right? And he made a comment about the latest strategy with Microsoft putting their games onto other places, right? Look at what he said here, right, game trailers, and you'll tell me what you thought of it, right? Look at this here. So this is an article by Sony. Okay, here. PlayStation is reportedly, no, this is the wrong one. Okay, so let me take this one off. All right, let me take this one off, and where is it? Where is it? PlayStation is reportedly no. There are no victims. So here it is, guys. This here is an article from VGC, and they are saying that the past PlayStation boss is saying this, right? He is saying that there are no victims in the Xbox multi-platform era, says former PlayStation exec. You saw this article, game trailers?
Listen, man. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I seen that.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I thought you talked about Sean Layton. What he said. No, this is the other guy from the.
Yeah, this is the other guy.
Yeah, the other guy. So yeah, he's right though.
So here, what he says, right? Mm-hmm. Former PlayStation executive Adam Boyes has praised the Microsoft agile gaming strategy and claimed that there are no victims in Xbox multi-platform era. Boyes, known by many for PlayStation infamous how to share games PlayStation 4 video, was PlayStation vice president of third-party relations between 2012 and 2016. More recently, he was co-CEO of Iron Galaxy, and he recently founded consultancy firm Vivrecto, right? Speaking in an interview with Game Tag Radio, Boyes was asked for his opinion on Microsoft's increased focus on multi-platform releases. Multiple former Xbox executives have recently been announced for PlayStation 5. Most recently, Forza Horizon 5 and Indiana Jones: The Great Circle. And boss Phil Spencer has said there are no red lines for what could come next. Not everyone has reacted positively to the news. However, with some notable Xbox influencer even having publicly withdrawn support for the platform. They're talking about Doug Dark here. I understand why people have feelings about it and opinions, because their idea is the identity of me choosing a brand and being beholden to the brand is unilateral, and therefore that should be the one source of all content, Boy said. But I do think I do think if we think of it in in the analogy of they are blockbuster and becoming, and that came Netflix. And what I mean by that is when they began, it was about the physical unit being the entertainment experience in the living room. And that was a plastic player that your put disc in, and it plays it. That's a grammatical error there. So you need to serve people with the physicality of it. He added, retails, retail and partnership are important. You and I have both waited in many lines and many early morning openings. And I mean, this is what he's saying here, Game Chillers. He's saying that, there are a lot of older guys in the gaming community who are fixated with the old way. The old way. This game must be on this platform. You have to sell in order to win the gen. You have to sell this amount of consoles. But he's saying that gaming is evolving, just like how the video streaming aspect that evolved into what we know as Netflix. We saw HBO evolve from just cable onto streaming as well. All these things are evolving, and persons who fail to adapt will be left back. Would you agree with that, Game Trailers?
Oh yes. I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these fanboys live in the 90s
Yeah.
and the early 2000 mentality.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the facts, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're stuck in the 90s and the 2000s mentality, think that you got to buy a console because it's exclusive. The first one, that's not true, because the Dreamcast said hello. But even you live in that fantasy world, we're in 2025, man.
Yeah.
Gaming costs 10 times more money than the early 2000s do, or 2010s, because production wise, you have to use the Unreal engine or Unity engine. You have to, find senior programmers, junior animators, and these salaries are going up over $200,000 to $300,000 a year. And imagine making a game for 5 years. Do the math here.
Come on.
So, over 100 people in your studio,
Yeah.
and so you live in this mentality. Sony's seeing it, right? Sony is slowly doing it. A lot of these ponies think that Sony got exclusive. They don't got no exclusive, because their games is on PC. The Lego game is on
Switch,
Switch,
Nintendo Switch,
and possibly become the Xbox. This is a rumor, right? Yeah. So it's just that Sony's CEO came out a couple of days ago. He talked about multi-platform strategy. Because he looking at that you can't rely on one box no more. And let's say the game sold 5 million, 10 million, right? On PlayStation. You send it to the same customers. Because you send it to the same customers. So imagine you put these games on PC. You find different people. Then you put this game on Xbox. You find more different audience. We want to play these games. Now, I know I'm passing the mic to you, but when people say, "Oh, it devalues your console," no, it doesn't. How develop my experience to play a game on my box? I don't give a crap where you play your game, because if you talk about devalue your console, I'm playing Spider-Man 2 on my PC. I don't have a PlayStation. So how that's devalue? It doesn't devalue the PlayStation experience and the Xbox experience. It's up to you to find out which console is valued for your money. And my money is on Xbox. It's on the Game Pass. And what Microsoft doing with the Netflix thing is brilliant, because you put all of these games on one subscription service. It helps developers, and it helps indie developers to make their money or all that stuff. You're sitting down and using this 90s and early 2000 mentality. Talk about, if Forza and all these games are on PlayStation, what's the point buying an Xbox?
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons. It's the same thing. Why you buy a PlayStation? You didn't buy the PlayStation because it's exclusive. You buy a PlayStation because it's valid for your own money.
Yeah.
That's why. And of course, PlayStation is more popular than Xbox around
Yeah.
the world. That's why PlayStation is always going to outsell Xbox. But people still going to buy an Xbox. And a lot of people think that 35 million console users is a very niche, small. No, it's not.
Correct.
That's a lot of people still, dude. Like if 35 million is a failure, why we're still getting games on that system?
Correct.
Why is GTA and Monster Hunter and Resident
all those
Evil,
games coming, yeah.
all of these games are coming this year?
Yeah.
They're on Xbox. Why are we getting these games if Xbox is the dead console?
Correct.
No. Okay, go ahead, Pastor.
Why did Sony choose to put that baseball game onto the
to get new people and get new users?
Come on. So
they can't use the 90s and 2000 mentality anymore.
No.
For the next generation, game development even skyrocket next generation.
Woo, buddy.
You think that when Unreal 5 matured enough, and Unity Energy is mature, it's going to show graphical fidelity. If you look at The Witcher 4, that thing looks insane.
Yeah.
So this is what people want, right? You want these graphics, you want these single player graphics, all that stuff. They're going to give you that, but these games will cost a lot of money.
Yeah. And the mere fact that it's costing a lot of money, it cannot fail. These guys have to realize that a game failing in 2025 is not the same as a game failing in 1999. It's different now. It's way different now.
It's just way different now.
Now, if your game fails, you might just close down. The studio might just close down in this era that we are in gaming. So the mere fact that Microsoft is broadening their horizon by putting their games onto other platforms, it makes the developers not only get MAUs, it makes the developers get, sales from other platforms and Xbox and Nintendo. So it's a win-win for everyone. Now, you might say then why play it on Xbox? It's simple. Game Pass is allowing you to play these games when it releases day and date. In addition to that, you don't have to pay that upfront fee. You could play the game, beat it, and that's it. It's done. But it's very clear that the gaming industry has changed. It has changed. Persons with that mindset, they are the golden girls of gaming. They are old, right? They are dust. I don't understand why it is they don't evolve their thinking when it comes to how Xbox is seeing gaming. I'm seeing that Xbox is setting up themselves to have a very successful generation. And if Sony does not pivot when it comes to getting their games into more hands, they would soon sink. Because it's very clear that the PlayStation community is not enough. Now, very good commentary there, Game Trailers. Now let's end off with a nice light video. Let's look at Dreamcast Guy. And Dreamcast Guy has finally taken the final form of a pony. Dreamcast Guy has finally taken the final form of a horse.
I beg your pardon?
You heard me right. He is evolving because according to him himself, he just got all his tooth removed and he's feeling so good. I mean, Dreamcast Guy had a right to rest. I don't know why he came on the video. He should have waited until his mouth was better. But he had to jump on this seemingly bad Xbox news. So now this guy should be resting. Look at Dreamcast Guy here, guys. Before he rests his mouth, he's breathing heavy. Look at
Hey there, gamers. Dreamcast Guy here, and today we're going to talk about the Xbox meltdown because Microsoft.
Dreamcast guy, take a rest. What are you doing on? You just had surgery. What are you doing on YouTube?
Is now confirmed Forza is coming to PlayStation 5, and it seems like Master Chief is next. Gears of War Fable. I want to talk about this, even though I just.
Dreamcast guy, stop talking. You want to talk about this? Rest your mouth. That is the purpose of having a mouth surgery. Your mouth have to get a rest. Charge it. Go and put in the charger. Let it get charged up. Rest this mouth, Dreamcast guy. You're breathing heavy. You're breathing heavy. You're drooling on yourselves. What is going on here?
Had 18 teeth removed because the Xbox community is melting down.
Forget about the Xbox community melting down. You don't want those brand new pearly whites to drop out. Your teeth could be melted, Dreamcast guy. Be careful.
And I find this fascinating because I think the tide between casual gamers and hardcore gamers has shifted.
Dreamcast guy, forget about hardcore and casual shifting. Your mouth could shift out of place. For God's sake, have mercy on those new teeth.
In a way that it honestly is bad for Xbox. But let me explain what I'm talking about. Hi, hope you're having a great day. And if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already.
And he look at him here, man. He's confident in the smile here, man. Listen to me. You are transforming. You actually these teeth are very similar to a pony, man. These tooth. Anyway, let me know rag on Dreamcast, but good for you, man. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of trouble talking. How do you like my new teeth, by the way? Hi.
Whoa, look at this. Hi. Come on, Dreamcast guy, man. Come on, man. You should be in bed, taking bed rest, man. Well, game trailers. What else you had to add, boy? What else we forgot to talk about tonight?
Oh no, want to talk about the Sean Layton thing?
Right. You want me to pull that up so you could talk about it by the time? Let me pull up the interview.
Yeah. So Sean Layton, man, listen, man, you work at Tencent. Nobody cares about your opinion. You're talking about Microsoft, the next Dreamcast or Sega. They're not, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's like Sega, like people forgot how bad what Sega was compared to Microsoft. Sega lost a lot of third-party support, right? That was the biggest reason why they didn't really make any impact of the Dreamcast. They didn't have a DVD player. The negative, oh, the Sega Saturn. The advertising was really bad. Yeah, the online infrastructure was way ahead of its time. And the biggest thing that Sega had is financial woes. Like, they didn't have a lot of money and they didn't really. Sega was really, really in the bad shape. And of course, Sony did play a huge role to kill Sega during the early 2000s. Telling EA do not make Madden on the console, or do not make any games on the Sega, because Sony wanted to kill Sega. Right. So Sega did not die because they put their games on other platforms. No. They started putting their games on the platforms when they started dying out. That's when you see Sonic on the GameCube. That's when you see 2K on PlayStation 2 and Xbox.
Right.
That's when because Sega was dying out. That's when they start putting the games on them. Microsoft is the opposite. They're not dying. Like, correct. Xbox is still here. Every Xbox console sells between 30 million to 60 million, or approximately 65 million. There's no Sega console ever did that outside of the Genesis, right? So Sean Layton talk about, Nintendo. Xbox will be the new Sega Dreamcast or the Sega. They're no near that, but trust me. It doesn't matter they put the games on other platforms. They've been doing that for years, Pastor Joe. Minecraft is on goddamn PlayStation, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
they've been doing that for years. But it doesn't matter they put the games on other platforms. They're no near Sega. You know what Sega doing in the early 2000s, dude? Like Sega killed Sega and Sony finished it. That's basically what it was.
Yeah.
Because people try to rewrite history talking about, yeah, but Sega didn't really, Sega died because they put the games on other platforms. No, it did not. Because I remember in 2000, 2001, that's when Sega started to dying out. That's when they started putting the games on the platforms because they couldn't make any money. And they would have financial roles. And 2K, they made the NBA 2K series, and they sold 2K to Take-Two Interactive, who owns 2K now. So it was a lot of problems in Sega, man. And Sega's biggest problem was the lack of third party, and there was no DVD. And okay, go ahead, Pastor.
Yeah, I'm very interested into finding out why he is saying Sony is putting their games onto PC.
Yeah,
right?
He would never say that.
Well, look, I see that. That's now. Let me I see he addressed it here. Let me share it. Let's see what he said about why Sony puts games on the PC. Because that was what was one of the questions.
Create FOMO, so because it was your idea, right? You're the one that pushed for PlayStation.
A lot of people
games.
had the idea, but yes, it's on my watch where I decided we're going to do this thing.
Right.
So according to him, Sean Layden was the one responsible for putting, Sony games onto PC.
Was there initial pushback?
Oh yeah, a lot of pushback. I mean, there was a time back in PlayStation 1 where we had a game called Jet Moto and a game called Warhawk. And
so this is very interesting, Game Trailers, because according to the ponies, Sony didn't really have to put games onto PC. But it's very interesting that Sean, this past Sony CEO, is saying here what he was the one to push games onto PC. Let's see why.
Studios wanted to publish them on PC. And at the time, Kutaragi-san rightly felt that Sony Creative Entertainment would not be in the PC publishing business. So I actually had to spin that off into another group in order to publish into the PC market, which wasn't really big back then in the late 90s. So it didn't really have a lot of impact, and most people don't remember that happened. But laterally, the reason why I thought we should go onto PC, and again, after a year, once a game's in the market,
initial release.
Because once a game's in the market for a year, you can look at the decay rate.
Yeah.
That's not going to.
So you heard what he said there? He said after a year, PlayStation games used to decay like a rotting fish in the sun, right? So I mean, these ponies used to be, these games were rotting so quickly after a year. They didn't have the longevity like a Halo. They didn't have the longevity like a Minecraft. Sony games rot after a year. They saw that, Game Trailers. So when it is Sean Layden and his team saw that PlayStation games was rotting like a dead deer in a sandstorm, he said, here what, this was one of the reasons why we would have been putting games on to PC. Fun fact, look, I'm seeing Sean Layden, like he's a fan of Pokemon. Is this a Snorlax here? What's this going on here, Sean Layden?
Going to cannibalize sales. It's already sold to your console market that wants it. PC was not to make money, not to really generate FOMO so much as it was, I just want to introduce to people who are not in the PlayStation camp.
But Sean Layden, that's cap. You will not spend money to port a game if you didn't think you would have made money. That is cap. Game Trailers, you hearing that? He's saying that he wanted to port games onto PC because he didn't want to make money. Cap, Sean Layden. Why come on this man platform and lie? Shout out to my brother there, man. Keston, what up? I'm seeing Keelan Blood. I'm seeing GJLV 730. Kodak Lee, what up? What up? Who again? Dolomite, what up? Sanchez Gaming, what up? Who again we are seeing here in the chat, boy? Who I missed? Brian, what up? What up? All right, good.
These are the things we're doing. Check it out. It could be cool. My view was that the PC market wasn't going to come to PlayStation on its own. And for us to tell them the story of what our games are, we have to meet them where they are. And if you're on your PC, I will meet you where you are. Not on day one, on day 366, but it was more of a chance just to get IP and the brand out there to an audience which normally we don't have a chance to talk to.
No, this is amazing because we are seeing that PlayStation would have evolved from Sean Layden's plan of putting PlayStation games after 1 year onto PC. Why did Sony do that? Because it appears that the decay of the PlayStation games were happening faster than a year. So after persons would have played Astrobot, we would have seen it. After Astrobot was played, the sales tank, the engagement tank, nobody is playing Astrobot currently, right? Very few, if to no one is playing Astrobot. So this decay was not happening within a year, but because they didn't have that MAUs, they didn't have persons coming back to these games. This is what Sony's Achilles heel.
That makes sense. But I imagine when GTA 6 releases, there will be PC players that do have FOMO and will probably end up buying a PS5 just to play it. So,
yes, there are some titles that can actually change weather patterns.
Yes.
And Grand Theft Auto is a franchise that can change weather patterns. Yes.
Yes. Definitely.
I mean, the PlayStation community is so reliant on Grand Theft Auto. It's amazing. I mean, why should they be so reliant on a game that is not? So if Grand Theft Auto decides to be delayed this year, is it that the sales of the PlayStation 5 will tank?
Oh yeah, it would. Yeah. Oh yeah, it would. Yeah. Yeah. Both systems will tank because the casuals are not going to move on the PS4 to PS5. They gotta find a game to do it, and it's GTA. Like GTA is a very big game. I'm talking about huge, but that's why the ponies talking about GTA because they think that PlayStation will get the marketing deal of GTA. That's not going to happen because GTA can sell itself without any marketing deal.
Indeed,
they just shot or dropped that today.
It was sell gangbusters.
It's like many people still waiting for that second trailer.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted to ask about Astrobot because that was my game of the year last year. It was
well, of course, this is a PlayStation podcast. I can see with the color scheme and so forth. It's obvious what would be your game of the year.
It's the Game Awards game of the year, and of course, it was yours.
Yes.
But what is the reason as to why it was your game of the year?
Jeff Keighley. I'm trying to understand. What's the reason why? Jeff Keighley tweeted about Astrobot about 15 times when it came out. Right? And how he's so in love, how it changed his life. I mean, if it is Astrobot could have turned into his wife, he would have divorced his wife and married Astrobot. I mean, this guy was so, thirsty for Astrobot. Jeff Keighley. So, of course, Astrobot, everyone predicted that game would have won, the game of the year.
Because it was fresh.
Yeah.
It was fresh. 2 million is fresh. The PlayStation community bought Astrobot 2 million copies, right? After 3 months. And that's fresh. It's basically a ripoff of Mario. Astrobot is a glorified Mario clone, right? And you're talking about fresh? Come on, Sean Layden. Don't you know what fresh mean?
It was fresh. You remember back on PlayStation 1, when you talk about genre, the different categories of games, it was always like RPG, platformer, fighting game, racing game. action game. And over time, the main genre in gaming now is adventure and action sports. There's still some RPG stuff going on, but racing, fighting, platformers, those used to be the staple of like the place.
But I mean, he made his point about the PC. We know he's going to talk about Astrobot. He's so interested about Astrobot. Let's see. Now, you were saying that he was likening Xbox to Sega, and you said that couldn't be because Sega did a lot of things wrong, but Microsoft is remaining strong by not only supporting their platform. I mean, Microsoft is not making hardware after hardware after hardware like how Sega was doing. So there is a clear difference between what Sega is doing, game trailers, and what Microsoft is doing now. So Sean Layden making that comparison, I don't think it was in good faith. I don't think it's a good faith comparison. But we know he will not speak ill about Sony because that is where he came from. Now, what would Sean Layden say about Concord?
It's a bit of a mess right now, actually.
That's no Sean Layden. You took me by surprise there, Ben. What would Sean Layden say about Concord?
It's a bit of a mess right now, actually.
Well, you have mentioned before about how the finance sector in the actual gaming world is trying to stop that curve being like this, right? The peaks and valleys, and that's partly why maybe the games as a service model came to be, to kind of get constant revenue, but it looks like that's having problems as well. I mean, Concord was a disaster for Sony.
Woo, buddy! Concord was a disaster for Sony. Look at Sean Layden's face here, guys. the amount of things he wants to say, but he don't want anyone to know. Let's see how best he contains it. Let's see.
I'll let that one hang right there.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah. you guys saw that? When he said Concord was a disaster for Sony, it's amazing how these executives don't say anything bad about their previous job. They don't want to burn bridges. But he said, you know what? I'll leave that, let it hang there. Come on, Sean.
Well, just let that comment hang out.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to understand how you get to that point, because there must have been a lot of data that they were looking at.
I mean, Pee Wee Herman Hole said this was the new Star Wars. This was the new Star Wars, guys. Concord was going to be a game to basically set new trends, revolutionize gaming. I mean, persons would have been crying with the gripping story of Concord. Persons, goosebumps would have been raising, seeing all the different characters from Concord. I mean, this game was going to shut the streets down, burn down the houses. I mean, Concord was going to be the best game of all time.
And they must have done like online testing and so forth to kind of gauge what the feedback is and how popular they think it might be. So,
come on, Sean Layden. Talk the truth about Concord. Say something. Let's see if it is he's going to put Concord in a positive light.
I don't actually understand how those type of scenarios happen.
Games as a service, live service gaming, games, we used to call it persistent world. There's all these different ways to describe that. It's just a place that people will log on to on a regular cadence and maybe buy something for their character or buy something to give them ability in the game of some kind. And people enjoy that. Fortnite is the poster child for that entire business and how that works. And a lot of people saw that, so that's amazing because you have the same game out there. You're not spending money on developing a new game. You're just sort of feeding the monster you've created. And with standard, subscription models or a robust DLC component to it, you can modulate or mediate that peak and valley issue that you're talking about earlier. You have this steady revenue coming through across that, and that's a financial model that's super healthy, super great. Everyone loves that.
But that's a pony.
The problem we see in the market,
I take it back,
and this we didn't have the data on this before, so we're kind of learning this in real time. I believe is the charitable answer. Is that how many live service games can be successful at any one moment?
Not Concord. I can tell you that. How many live services game could be successful? Not Concord, Sean Layden.
Yeah, well, there's only
The
a
answer
certain
obviously
amount of
is not
people.
20. Yeah, this amount.
Woo! You see what he did there? Guys, you guys saw what he did there? This was a dig at Jim Ryan. Sean Layden just sneakily said something bad about Jim Ryan because he said, how many games as a service could be number one? Obviously, not 20. So why did Jim Ryan choose to make 20 games games as a service at a time, or 10 or 12? So I'm seeing what Sean Layden is doing there. Remember, Sean Layden is still salty that they kicked him out to put Jim Ryan.
People, and coming up with the next great live service game, you have to not only have a great game, you have to compel people to take their time away from where they are to come over and invest time in where you are. There's a switching cost. I don't think a lot of people play 4 or 5 live service games at the same time.
No.
You're like all into 1 or 2 and that's it. And so for you to come out with another one, you're trying to get people to come over here. Stop spending so much time doing that thing you love and come over here and try this thing you don't know. And that's a hard proposition. It's not just the selling of the game. It's convincing people that they should take away some of the time they're really enjoying doing this thing over there to come over to your unknown thing and invest their time there. It's not like a single player game or a narrative play game. It's like, I can do my live service thing with you, but I'm going to just play Elden Ring and just to see that whole experience and get the thing done and go, yay, and then go back to where I'm having my daily hit of Fortnite or whatever it is. So I think a lot of people looked at that model and said, that's really healthy. That's really, it's high profitability. But the market can only absorb so much at any given time. And I think that's why there's several companies who have launched their live service games in the last 12 months who have pretty much pulled the plug on them before the year is out.
Sean Layden is very, I mean, I don't know if these guys got coached how they could answer questions like that, but it's obvious that he's being very careful with his words. He's being very careful in what he's saying, but if you read behind what it is he's saying that Jim Ryan made a horrible choice to greenlight 12 games as a service to be produced at the same time. And the mere fact that Concord failed indicates that Jim Ryan made a horrible choice. So I'm seeing what Sean Layden is doing, and let me just say he's very skilled in this kind of PR speak.
You just can't get traction at the start. It's very, very hard to prop that thing up without it.
I saw that the PS5 Pro is discless. With that being said, do you think the PS6 will be completely discless?
That's a good question.
Yes.
That's a good question. What are your thoughts on that before we hear Sean Layden game trailers?
Yes.
It's going to be discless?
Yes, it's going to be options to have the disc drive. Yes, you understand. I love physical games.
Yeah.
But physical games is fading out, man. Like a lot of people don't really buy physical games anymore. And now when you buy these physical games, either come with a code or it doesn't really come with a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of persons who have a physical game catalog, a lot of them don't go back and play those games. Those games stay on a shelf, stay on the glass case for years, and it's not being played. I mean, there are some guys who love to have the comfort knowing that they can pick up any one of these games and play them. I mean, that's good. But however, when we really look at it, how the amount of new games coming out every month, game trailers, how much time do you have to play the older games? How much time? Because games just keep coming out. Look how many games are coming out this year. How could you spend time on all these games in addition to playing your old catalog what you have on the shelf? So it's very clear that when the industry evolves, physical media would be the thing of the past. So the PlayStation 6 most likely will not have a disc. But let's see what Sean Layden say here.
Because Sony could probably get away with it now.
Well, actually, I don't think Sony can get away with it now. I think, Xbox has had more success in pursuing that strategy, but Xbox is really most successful in their business in a clutch of countries: U.S., Canada, UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa. Not coincidentally enough, all English-speaking countries.
Yeah.
Sony, which is the number one platform in probably 170 countries around the world, has an obligation or responsibility to say, if we go diskless, how much of my market is not able to make that jump? Can users in rural Italy get a decent connection to enjoy games? One thing I didn't realize when we talked about this in PlayStation 4 about going diskless, one person said not the biggest, but there is a significant market for PlayStation consoles, with like athletes like to take them with them because they have so much downtime in hotels before their game.
Sure.
I mean, Sean Layden is also saying that recently game trailers we would have heard that Sony is going to close down the manufacturers that make Blu-ray disc, and if Sony does that, then it's basically they are saying that the PlayStation 6 will not have a disc drive. So Sean Layden is basically saying here again that Sony is making the wrong decision to move away from physical media. I mean, this is why they got him out. This is why they bowled him out, because he have a different way of thinking, and quite frankly, this is not the thinking that PlayStation wants at this time.
And they're not supposed to go out drinking or carousing. Stay in your room.
Yep.
It's curfew, 10 p.m. before game time. They're all taking their consoles with them. Actually, there's a huge market. PlayStation is very popular on military bases around the world. Places where you can't get internet connection. So the ability to go to diskless solution is really the key points of that. Is which part of your market cannot be served by that? Which part of your market will be damaged by going to a diskless market? I'm sure they're doing the research on it, and there will be a tipping point where there's some percentage where you can say, okay, that's fine. We can turn our back on that part of the market. But Sony's market is globally so huge, I think it'll be hard for them to go fully diskless, even with the next generation.
I mean, there are rumors of Microsoft and Sony working on a handheld, which is, I think, prompted by the Switches.
Well, I mean, Game Trailers, I don't want to keep you any longer. It's very interesting to see how many points Sean Layden had that is contrary to the Sony today. I mean, he basically said that Jim Ryan is a fool to go in pursuit of all of those live services games at a time, and he's saying that Sony is making the wrong decision to go entirely diskless by shutting down these factories or these companies when it comes to making the Blu-ray disc. So Sean Layden have a different way of thinking from the regular Pony General, but I mean, this is why he left. They don't want that style of thinking. But Game Trailers, this was a great show. Let me just say thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Pastor.
Where could the guys in the chat find you, Game Trailers? Put your stuff in the chat, man. Talk to the audience.
Oh no, Game Trailers. At Twitter. Same name.
Yeah. So Game Trailers on Twitter. You guys could show your support. He's very active on Twitter, and he gives some good commentary and good reasoning when it comes to the gaming industry. So hit him up on Twitter. So guys, the guys in the chat who supported tonight, thanks for coming out. Yataza for being the stream sponsor for the night, sponsoring the stream tonight. Thank you for that, Yataza. And all the guys who comment, who was very active in the chat. Thank you guys for rocking out. Ponies, get out of there, man. Get out of here. Go and buy some Microsoft games and fund our Game Pass, man. We need more games to play. Hit the like button on your way out, guys. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. Thanks for coming on tonight. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later. Ponies, go buy. Go buy, man. Go buy. Buy. When ponies pay, we all win. Yeah, Game Chillers. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem.
Yeah, man. Anytime you have any topics you want to talk about, you want a platform to say it, man. The doors are always open, man. Game Trailer always open.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem.
So thanks again.
Man.
Yeah,
No
take
problem.
it easy. Yeah.
No problem.
Later, yeah. Just know. Am I still live? Hey guys, take it easy, man. I think I'm still live. Later, man. What's going on here? Damn you ponies.